Hey everyone, it's Darren. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a function you probably never used before. It's the indirect function in Excel. It's something that I've only used a handful of times myself. Uh, if you need to use it, you absolutely need to use it, and there's no other way around it. It's one of the few cases in Excel where there really aren't any viable alternatives for it. So what the indirect function does, imagine you have a cell that you're putting in a formula, and the formula is equals A1 plus B1. Okay, pretty simple, right? We do that all the time. With indirect, though, what you do is you say equals A1 plus, I'm not really sure, go over here to this other cell and figure out what the other reference is. Or equals A1 plus, I'm going to do some calculations to figure out the cell reference. Uh, so it's a little different. So it's using an indirect reference to a cell. Most of the times when I've used it, I find it useful when I'm trying to generate a random list. So not a random number. There's plenty of Excel functions to generate random numbers, and you can just check the linked video down in the description for random numbers. But maybe a random color, random name, whatever. If you're making random data files, you might need to use indirect. And I have a video coming up on actually how to make random data files. Okay, so let's look at an example. What I'm going to do, the syntax is really pretty simple here. Indirect. Oh, I'm going to pick B4, and I get violet. Now, violet is not sitting in B4. What is sitting in B4 is A7, and A7 points to violet. So that's all indirect does is it says, go to this parameter, and in that parameter, figure out what the data is out there. So that's indirect. So why would you use indirect? And as I mentioned, I find it most useful when generating random data files. So if I have this list of colors here and I need a random list of colors, or I need a few random colors, you can actually do equals indirect of concatenate, sorry, concatenate A with rand between 1 and 9. And it was just complaining because I missed a parentheses on there. So it's just taking an indirect, and it's taking A and a random number between 1 and 9. And that means that what D1 is giving me is a random selection of those colors. And that's about the only way you can get that sort of random selection of like text strings or things like that. And if we copy these down, uh, one thing you'll notice is that green now changed to indigo because rand between and all the random functions they're not static functions, so they change whenever you reference them. And you also notice there's two blacks in here, and the reason there's two blacks is because it's a random number generator. So that's the primary use for indirect, is that you can generate a random list. And there's some other ways to do the concatenate. You don't have to use the concatenate function. Check out the concatenate video. This one's older. It's been around forever. It's in every version of Excel, so that's why I used it. Uh, so that's the indirect function. That's really about all there is to it. Uh, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section. If you learned anything from this video, or if you have any other way that you found that you actually end up needing to use the indirect function, put those in the comments also. But if you learned anything, be sure to hit the like button, and also subscribe and hit notify so you can see when I release new videos. I also have a Patreon page at patreon.com/data analysis excellence. If you can help us out over there, that would be great. Uh, Again, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something, and look forward to seeing you next time.